the final resting place of President Abraham Lincoln, Mary Todd Lincoln, and 3 of his 4 children. The only child of Lincoln's in his immediate family that was not buried in this tomb was his son Robert Lincoln, who lived a long life and had his own illustrious career and is buried in Arlington National Cemetery. 16th President of the United States, known as the president who led the United States in the Civil War and freed the slaves, and a staple of Illinois. But I'm not here to talk about Abraham Lincoln today, directly at least. Today, we're going to share the story of Roy Bertelli, otherwise known as Mr. Accordion. Before I tell you guys about Roy Bertelli and Mr. Accordion and his tomb, I just want to share with you that I am in Oak Ridge Cemetery in Springfield, Illinois. I do want to say that I respect that I'm in the final resting place of one of our most well-known presidents, most popular presidents, and many thousands of other people. There are several war memorials in this cemetery. I went and did a slight drive-by those war memorials before coming over here to do this video. I visited President Lincoln's tomb. I talked to state employees, and I talked to Oak Ridge Cemetery employees, and so I just want you guys to know that I take honoring and respecting those that have left us behind seriously, and took a moment to just be respectful towards those resting here today. But I found this story on Roadside America's website, and I found it well worth sharing with you guys. So let's get into the story of Mr. Accordion. Roy Bertelli was born in 1910, and he grew up always hoping to someday be buried here in Oak Ridge Cemetery. He always enjoyed this cemetery. And so I guess one year he finally built up the courage to go into the office and find out if there were any plots of land available for Mr. Bertelli to buy. And to his shock, there was a corner plot right near the road to President Lincoln's tomb that he was able to purchase. He bought it right on the spot that day, and he was extremely happy. And just to give you guys some context, there's the president's tomb, there's the road leading up to it, and if we pan and turn this way, this is the entrance to the cemetery. He got about as prime and perfect of a spot as he possibly could. And as I stated before, I've got all this information off of Roadside America's website. It was only a few weeks later that the Oak Ridge Cemetery sent Mr. Bertelli a letter. There was a mistake. They weren't supposed to sell him that spot. So a few weeks after the first letter came in, Mr. Bertelli received a letter from the cemetery's lawyers. And this letter said that the cemetery was going to seize the plot of land. And it also stated that if Mr. Accordion did not cooperate, then a lawsuit would be filed. Well, Mr. Bertelli was a World War II veteran, and he wasn't going to take that kind of bullying. Now, he might have been reasonable. He might have given the plot back. He wasn't very happy, I'm sure. Now, we'll never know what Mr. Bertelli would have done had that second letter from the lawyers not come, but it did come. So he decided he was going to teach Oak Ridge Cemetery a lesson. So what he did next was he built his tomb above ground. You know, it's not quite the same to President Lincoln's tomb, but it's definitely noticeable. When you come into Oak Ridge Cemetery, it's pretty hard to miss. And along with building his tomb above ground, he put this large plaque back here, Roy Bertelli, Mr. Accordion. So anyone that comes into the cemetery, in fact, I didn't have to do any looking at all. I drove in, and I like driving in your car, you can see this placard, this headstone, if you will. It's very easy to see. It's very hard to miss. But that's not it. Oh, I just noticed this too. Here we go. Lifetime dedication to the accordion. World War II veteran and a member of the American Legion. Now, not only did Mr. Accordion put his tomb right here and say, "I'm not going to take it," when they attempted to bully him, but Mr. Accordion, up until his death, would sometimes come out here to this cemetery, grab his accordion, stand on top of his tomb, and play the accordion. Now, can you imagine coming out to visit the final resting place of our 16th president in this very nice cemetery, and driving in the main entrance and you see the tomb up ahead, but before you get there, a man is standing on top of the smaller tomb, but an impossible to miss tomb, playing his accordion as you come in? I don't know what people thought of that. I don't know what I would have thought if I saw that. And then Mr. Accordion had one more trick up his sleeve. When he finally did die in 2003, Mr. Accordion is not in this resting spot here. He didn't get buried in his tomb that he had purchased legally and rightfully. He got buried outside of town in another cemetery. So, I don't know what you think of this story. I don't know what you think of Mr. Accordion. Was he defiant? Was he funny? Was he stubborn? A little bit of all, probably. But I appreciated this story, and I thought it was a great way to not let yourself be bullied when you're in the legal and just spot, but not do it in a malicious and nasty way. I think that what he did was, to me, it's kind of a little bit humorous, but respectfully humorous, and just not taking it. So when I heard of this story, I had to share it with you guys. I want to be humble about this being in a cemetery, so I hope that I've reflected that today. And I hope you enjoyed getting to hear about this story, this creative and unique little piece of history of Illinois and Springfield and our 16th president. He's indirectly tied in. And again, I got that information off of Roadside America, where you can find tons of information of just about every town in your state for all kinds of quirky little unique places you might want to check out. So like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.